Well, good afternoon, Internet. It's Friday I think it's the 15th of May, which means here in England, not the UK as a whole, but in England at least, we are day 3 of our release from lockdown, so I thought I'd better make a video. In fact, I went out yesterday thinking I'd made a video. When I got back, found there was a problem with the camera, and I had to reformat the SD card, and so I lost yesterday's video. So I'm out again today, just going round sort of some Hertfordshire B roads, relatively locally, because I am going out for a slightly longer ride tomorrow, but I couldn't wait any longer. So it's been absolutely weeks since I've last been out properly on the bike, if we ignore yesterday. And a fair bit has happened to the bike since then. I've done a few things to it. I'd just like to get past this car if I may, so I think perhaps I will just concentrate momentarily. I know there's a skid risk sign, but I've been down this road multiple times, bike and car, and there really isn't, so don't worry about that. Anyway, yeah, a few things have happened to the bike. So first of all, I had organised a long weekend, in fact this weekend, today, tomorrow and Sunday, in Matlock in Derbyshire, which is a kind of biker's paradise. I arranged it weeks ago, long before there was any notion of us being in a lockdown period. So about 8 of us going, I think. And in readiness for that trip, I actually bought BMW's rear seat bag. Beautiful thing. Cost a fortune. I think it's about 280 quid new, or that kind of money. Anyway, that arrived, and then I obviously had to cancel the trip. And for some reason, even before I cancelled the trip, I decided that I was going to take the passenger subframe off the back of the bike, which would have meant that I couldn't put the bag on it anyway. So I've now got a bag sitting in a dust cover. Well, it's living under my bed actually, and I don't know that I'll ever use it. But anyway, not the first time I've wasted money, and I'm sure it won't be the last. So yeah, so I took the passenger frame off and opened up the back of the bike. It looks amazing now in comparison to how it looked before. Done a few other bits and pieces. I put the baffle back in the unit garage end can. When I bought it, it had the baffle removed. It was just part of the contents in the pack, and I rode it like that for a while, but it was so loud I couldn't hear. Also, if I was using my GPS, I just couldn't hear the phone, even through my headphones or through the Sena speakers. The Sena volume wasn't too bad, but the phone volume was pants. So anyway, I put the baffle back in, and it's still loud. Probably can't tell because the microphone, as always, is inside my helmet. It's still loud, but it's not painful loud, so fairly happy I did that. I fitted a headlight grille and some black fork covers. Both of those I bought from Pier City Cycle, the guys just outside Brighton, and both of them are from Unit Garage. So I'm pretty much done. I think I probably had the Sergeant seat pod on the bike last time I made a video. If I didn't, well, I've fitted that as well. So I think all the mods are just about done. So I'd really like to get a kind of Monza style gas cap for the fuel tank. I think I pinned down the one I want. It's made by a company in Germany called Reich. I think that's how you pronounce it. Reich. Probably more like Reich, actually. And I'm probably going to buy that in the next week or so. They're not cheap, but that seems to be quite a good one. Actually just ridden across a bridge over the M25 motorway, and I have to say that's looking pretty much back to normal. Quite a lot of traffic. It's been the last couple of months have been quite surreal when you look at the roads, walking around the streets. So until a couple of days ago we were effectively properly locked down and there was just no one about, at least other than commuters going to and from work. There was very little activity, and it did feel pretty weird, I have to say. So yeah, I've only just in the last day or so started to use the bike in earnest, and it does feel nice. I took the opportunity actually just before the lockdown kicked in, and I mean sort of days before the lockdown kicked in, to get it serviced and MOT'd. It was a little bit early, but I wasn't happy at the colour of the oil, and I thought I'd rather have all the oil changed, have the service done, and know that everything was going to be okay thereafter, instead of worrying about, you know, riding it for another 3 months or whenever the service was actually due, and wondering whether that oil was actually darker than it should have been. Anyway, it turns out that all was fine. Bike got a clean bill of health. Going much nicer actually following the service. The throttles needed balancing quite badly, and one or two other things needed doing. But all is fine now. It's looking wonderful, although I did see someone seems to have deliberately scratched my fuel tank yesterday when it was parked up, so that's a bit annoying. So yeah, apart from the scratch, it's looking lovely. I think I might be able to polish that out anyway. I'll have a proper look at it over the weekend. Unfortunately, the only place you can see it easily is when you're sitting riding it. So if I were to look down, I won't properly look down. I mean, I'd be able to see it, but to the casual observer, it'd be pretty much invisible. And I think that's about it for this whole lockdown period. There's obviously not a lot to report because we weren't doing anything, just stuck in. Got through some box sets on Sky and Amazon Prime. That was fun. Played a bit of football in the garden with my son. That was also fun. Even had to cut the grass myself a couple of times. Whilst I was unable to benefit from the services of my long-standing gardener, bless him, he was locked down as well. So tomorrow, going out on the bike again with my mate Howard, who's had an absolutely disastrous last year or so. He and a friend of his bought about 20 bikes of varying ages, including some vintage British bikes. And he had one problem after another. And it's only over the last couple of weeks that he's ended up with a couple of bikes, well, the last month, actually it's probably just before the lockdown, he ended up with a couple of bikes that are actually roadworthy. Got a lovely old Honda which I think is going to use tomorrow, a CB 750 I think it is from memory. So that should be fun. I don't know where we're going to go, and of course we can't go anywhere that's open because the cafes are closed, the bike showrooms and dealerships are closed. So I guess we'll just go for a little ride, maybe through the Chilterns or something like that, and come back home. It's not going to be particularly sunny, but I don't think it's going to rain either, and the weather is just perking up a little bit. Excuse me. In fact, I bought a couple of summer jackets recently from Merlin. What a twat. Unbelievable. This is one of them. You can see that, hopefully you can. And I got the same thing in a kind of blue and grey. There's the motorway again. Just heading now into Shenley village, where I used to live in another life actually, pre-divorce. So I think I'll just cut through the Porters Park development, which is a nice little, not quite a shortcut, it's actually a long cut to the roundabout that would otherwise be at the top of this hill. About 15 years old. It's an old hospital site. There was a psychiatric hospital here. Shenley was actually pretty much known for it, in fact. The old clock tower, which we've just gone past, was part of the old site. I enjoyed living here, and it was a lot nicer than where I am at the moment, but anyway, it's another story. Little gated development on my right here. Just coming up now, I think. Really give you a proper look at that. And the road I used to live in is about 2 or 3 up here on the left. As I say, it seems like a long time ago now. There we go. Very nice. Lovely little village. Oh dear, lovely little village this. Which they've ruined by installing these speed bumps. Really quite annoying. And I seem to be completely unable to slow down as much as I should do to take them comfortably. But there you go, that's my problem and no one else's. Shenley is actually in the Doomsday Book, it's that old. And it's also the village where, what's his name, W.G. Grace founded, famous cricketer, founded Shenley Cricket Club, which is still used actually to host international friendly matches when there are touring teams from abroad, as well as whatever league matches Shenley Cricket Club might play in. But it's quite famous, and it's a famous, as I say, it's a famous and long-standing English village that goes all the way back beyond medieval times. It's kind of nice. The Porters Park development is a kind of outlying part of the original village. It's not surrounded by new build. It's just that one development is new, relatively new anyway. It's been nice to get out on the bike today. I'm looking forward to seeing Howard tomorrow, working out where we're going to go. God knows where that will be. It's a bit annoying. This is actually a 60 mile per hour speed limit on this section. Which is about to become a 40 mile an hour. So I missed the good part. And I think it's time I said goodbye. I'm going to be home in a minute. And I will see if I can find some time today to edit this video. All being well, I'll post it on YouTube either tonight or early tomorrow morning. I think it's worked. The camera and the SD card are okay now. Of course, if I'm wrong, you'll never know, because I won't be posting anything quite yet. So anyway, have a lovely weekend, stay safe. If you're enjoying a little bit more freedom, do so thoughtfully and with due regard to social distancing, and I will catch you soon.